Hi, my name is Daniela and I will be demoing my project for Develop at Ubisoft. It is called The Caves of Saturnia and it follows this adventurer who is seeking precious gems to bring back to his home planet in the hopes of saving it by bringing a wonderful source of energy. Um, this is inspired by the theme of space exploration because for me, space exploration means thinking of all those impossible things that could happen because of how infinite everything is out there. So I really wanted to explore something that was technically physically impossible, such as invisible walls. Um, so not like glass, they're invisible walls. And I was also inspired by oldish games such as Wolfenstein 3D, who used the technology of raycasting to make 3D out of a 2D graphics card. And I originally wanted this to be a 3D game, but not only because of time, but also because I thought it would not be that fun to have a 3D game where the walls are invisible. I decided to make it a top-down view so we can really make the most out of the raycasting ability. So the raycasting ability comes from the flashlight, which is kind of like the player's special tool. I have turned off the music of the game because it is very loud, but it does have music and it's very good. So this is the first level. As you can see, I am currently casting rays from the center of the player in around 60 degrees of directions. My special ability is if I press A, I can cast even more rays, and if I press A again, I cast even more rays. And I can press it again to cancel it, or press B at any point to go to the previous stage. The limitation to this ability is that you have a timer, and when that timer runs out, the ability cancels out. The original idea was to make this kind of a bigger limitation by only allowing 3 battery charges on the lantern. So if the timer runs out 3 times, that's it, you cannot expand your lantern anymore. Biggest technical challenge was definitely the ray casting. As you can see, it is not perfect. It has bugs, and it doesn't really allow you to see the environment as well as I would have wanted you to. It does add an element of surrealism though, which I always appreciate. But as a player, it is slightly annoying. Um, so what I did is I have this tile map over every single level, and I track which tiles have walls in them, which tiles have items in them or enemies in them, and with every ray that I cast, I try to find the closest intersection between the ray and, well, the rays are only projected against the wall tile, so the closest intersection between the ray that I cast, which I cast at least 60 rays, um, between the ray that I cast and a wall tile. And then I draw the ray from my position to that first intersection. And the math isn't perfect, but at least the idea is on the screen. I think the next thing, which you might have noticed because I've been picking up invisible items, the next biggest challenge was building collision from scratch. It doesn't work perfectly. For some reason, that was one of the buggiest displays that I have seen yet. That's how programmers' luck are. But yeah, it isn't perfect. I was proud of how I worked with the walls though, because it was very nice and smooth. But with the items, there's some things that aren't quite polished yet. And yeah, there are other things that I would have liked to implement. I wanted to make more interesting patterns for the enemies, for example, or, well, actually make the raycasting work. But I think I'm very happy with the product. I think it's still fun, even though a little bit frustrating. But I have been trying to beat my own game for a while now, and I think that does say something. I wanted to end by saying that I really appreciate this opportunity. It has been a wonderful learning experience.